Welcome to Huddle Adventures. I'm Eddie. Today we're going to dig into prepaid gratuities. What are prepaid gratuities? Why is that an option when I book my cruise? What does it mean? Okay, I'm going to assume you never booked a cruise before. We'll start right there. Baseline, you never booked a cruise before and you decided you are going to book it yourself. On a side note, I recommend your first cruise, use a travel agent. At least on the first cruise, they don't charge you anything. Great free service. Tons of them out there. Steer you the right way. But we'll say you're doing it yourself. Keeping things simple. You pick everything you want. You get down to the bottom line. And you're getting ready to get to the bottom where you're going to book the cruise. And it gives you two final options. One is, would you like to insure your cruise and purchase travel insurance? If you don't have a travel insurance policy, I highly recommend you check yes. And they'll charge you a per person rate for cruise insurance. The next box will say, would you like to pay your prepaid gratuities now? And that also is per person. So if you're a solo cruiser, you're only going to pay for the gratuities for yourself and the travel insurance for yourself. Even though you're going to pay double occupancy for the room, they can only charge you once for those two things. Now, keeping it simple, we'll say it's $20 per person per day. So say it's $280 extra added on to your cruise, your 7-day cruise you just get ready to book. That's a lot of money, $280. And if you've never cruised before and you're an American, you know that in America when we tip, we generally tip after we get good service, and it's a reward to the service provider saying, hey, you went the extra mile. I really appreciate it. Here's a little something for you, okay? And the service industry that relies on tips tend to be underpaid because the employer realizes they're going to offset their salary with tips. So that's kind of the U.S. way of doing things. Now, it applies on these cruise lines sailing out of the U.S. So same kind of concept. Now, say you say, hey, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to skip that. No, I'm not going to do it. You don't skip the box. You're not free and clear. That $280, it's actually going to be a little less than $280, guys. I just did $20 per person, easy math. But that $280 is going to get charged to you on the last night. It's going to get charged to your card. You're going to pay it either way. Now, the only way to get around paying a prepaid gratuity is to go down to the customer service desk at some point during your cruise and say you want your prepaid gratuity money back, and they'll give you a refund. But before you do that, let me explain to you where the prepaid gratuity money goes. Okay, it goes obviously to your room attendant, it goes to your waiters, the assistant waiters, the maitre d's, the dishwashers, the cooks, all the people behind the scenes, the people that work in the laundry area, the people doing all the cleaning behind the scenes. There's cleaning crews working in the middle of the night, cleaning the Lido deck and cleaning off all the lounge chairs and emptying the pool, and they're constantly working. And those people behind the scenes, you're never going to see them, but that money, that prepaid gratuity, go into a pool, and it's distributed based on a formula, and every cruise line is a little different. And every cruise line charges a little different rate for their prepaid gratuities too. Some are a little less, some are a little more. And your prepaid gratuities are going to be impacted by the class of room you book. So like someone in a suite is going to have a higher prepaid gratuity rate than someone in an interior stateroom, okay? It just takes less effort to take care of a smaller space. It's kind of a common sense thing, right? So the way it's been explained to me, in most cruise lines, the stateroom attendant, the person who cleans up your room, he gets or she gets the biggest amount of that, the biggest percentage of the pool, and the rest of it's distributed across the entire ship. The only exception is the bar staff. The bar staff, they are paid off the prepaid gratuities that are added on your drinks. Now, the interesting thing about this is you can remove your gratuities off your actual cruise fare, but you cannot remove your gratuities off your drink package. So Carnival, I know by heart, they have an 18% gratuity that they add on automatically. So every time you buy a drink, they're adding, 18%. So you buy a $10 cocktail, you're paying $11.80 for that. So that money goes to all the bartenders and all the wait staff in the bars around the whole ship, and it's split evenly. Now, every time you tip extra, like you can tip on the receipt at Carnival, where you charge like an extra $1 a drink or something, it gets charged to your stateroom. That also goes into a pool for all the bars and wait staff. The only time if you want to tip a bar staff member a little more is when you give them cash and they keep that cash. I've also heard that sometimes the bar staff will agree that they're going to split all the cash collected. So it just depends. It depends on ship to ship. But with all that said, if you take your prepaid gratuities away and take them home with you, or you say, I'm going to tip people myself, you're not going to be able to tip the people working behind the scenes because you're never going to see them, guys. And ultimately, it hurts them financially. And you might be thinking, well, why do we have to worry about that? The cruise line should worry about that. And that's an excellent point. And that is the whole premise of my logic behind this video. And that is, we need to hold the cruise lines accountable. We need to make them offer prices that allow them to pay their crew members a good wage, so we don't have to supplement their income. So for instance, and again, using the easy math, that $280 extra that we have to pay in prepaid gratuities, why not just charge us an extra $140 per person for the room and don't even mention it? Don't bring up gratuities at all. Don't even say anything about it. Put it into the fixed price of your cruise line and stop doing that to us. Then when we tip our room steward, the stateroom attendant, because I always tip them at the end, I usually give them like an extra $10 to $15 a day, something like that. So like on a 7-day cruise, I usually give them a $100 bill at the end of the week. It's just something extra I like to do for them. And a lot of people do that too. So, you're looking at go, wow, now after the pandemic, cruising blew up. Cruising is far more popular today than it ever has been, ever, ever, ever. And because of that, these ships are, sailing at full capacity and, basic economics. When demand goes up, price goes up. So the cruise lines have taken advantage of that, have raised their prices. They've raised gratuity prices multiple times. They've raised their cruise rate multiple times. They've raised their special dining rate multiple times in the last 5 years. They've had lots and lots of price increases. So you're looking at it going, man, I'm giving them more and more and more money. And, so you got to look at it and say, hey, do I punish the hard-working crew that go way beyond your expectations and make sure you have a great cruise vacation to make a point to the cruise line? Or do we just start calling the cruise line out like I am right now and say, hey, won't we do away with this? Now, I'm going to give kudos to a couple cruise lines that do all-inclusive pricing packages, which are great if you are the cruiser that likes to get the drink package, Wi-Fi, specialty dining, those type of things. If those are the things that you like, there's a few cruise lines. One is Celebrity, which is Royal's premium brand. The other one is Princess, which is Carnival's premium brand. Then you have MSC Cruises and NCL, Norwegian Cruise Line. They offer these all-inclusive prices that include the gratuity rate, the Wi-Fi, the drink package, everything all in for one low price. And it's a great deal. It's a bargain. Like I said, if you want the drink package and you want Wi-Fi and you want to pay the prepaid gratuities, you get a really good deal on that. And you don't even think about it. It's just like, man, that's a great deal. And they should all do that. Now, the funny thing is, Carnival and Royal are notorious for doing the nickel and diming thing. And like their drink packages are really expensive. So it looks like you're going to be going on this $1,800 cruise. But by the time you get, Wi-Fi, because you got to have access to work while you're in the ship. We all can't just turn everything off, guys. That's an argument I hear all the time. Oh, just unplug. When I'm on vacation, unplug. My wife is a travel nurse recruiter. She has nurses working all over the country, and they work all shifts, and they work every holiday, and they don't care what time of the day it is, if she's on vacation or not. If they have an emergency, they're reaching out to her. So she has to be able to connect, and there's lots of people like her. So the Wi-Fi is an important thing for a lot of folks. So anyways, all those things in one package makes it easy to budget for, gives you a better value, and takes care of you. So that's what they need to do. Royal, you got to pay for all that stuff separate. Carnival, got to pay for all that stuff separate. They never package it all together. So with that said, guys, thanks for tuning in, and I will talk to you soon.